Fonterra is set to slash its forecast milk payout price well below break-even for the season tomorrow. It comes after global dairy prices fell for the 10th consecutive time yesterday. So how are our dairy farmers coping, some of them anyway, that maybe have a high debt? And what is being done to help them get through these hard times? With me now is DairyNZ Chief Executive Tim Mackle. Tim, thanks for joining us this morning. You know, it's dairy farming. It is a hard job. They're long hours, good lifestyle, but many of them, as I was saying, are carrying high debt, certainly some of them, and at the moment, many of them are working to lose money. How tough is it for some of the dairy farmers at the moment?
Very, very tough gig right now, Paul, and as you well know, calving's underway. We're well underway in many parts of the North Island, so you know, look, it's a tough time enough as it is, getting through calving, long hours, and dealing with the elements and so on, and to have news, you know, come through around milk price when you're already at a very in a very tight situation financially. It's tough.
And there are many dairy farmers out there for whom the more they produce, the more they lose right at the moment. And I suppose for some of them, they have never experienced this before, because this is the biggest downside in dairy that we've had for quite a long time.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Paul. I think, you know, we've had a good run since the GFC kicked in, and of course, unlike other countries, we took off very quickly. We weren't so constrained by lending and credit limits and so on, so farmers were in a good position. Some farmers have been through this before, as you indicated, you know, like some have even been through the 87 sort of period, and then of course we had a soft patch in the early 90s and so on. But yes, a good number of them haven't been through that, so it's really important that those who have been through it can support others and lead the way.
All right, so talk to me about the real problem farmers, those who've got into it at the high end of the cycle, who've perhaps borrowed a lot of money to get into it, and who are going to really struggle if this continues as long as some people are predicting it will.
Yeah, look, and I mean, we often talk averages, so it's really important to remember first it's a wide range. I think in terms of debt, you talked about debt earlier on, Paul. Well, you know, the figures that we've got show that around 10% of the farming base, dairy farming base, hold about 30% of the debt. So obviously they are very exposed in terms of risk at this time. And if you combine that with high costs, then that's when you're in a high risk phase, if you like. So that's really the position you don't want to be in. And so really what we need to do here is well, there's two real initiatives we've got to focus on collectively as an industry. The first thing is to help farmers get through. So well-being, stress, dealing with those issues is really key. The second thing is how do we help them from a financial perspective? How do you build more resilience and actually reduce their costs? We're really talking about, for most farmers, reducing the gap, closing that gap between what they're earning or what's costing them up here and then what they're earning down here. So look, if milk price were to drop from, say, $5.25, the first announcement for Fonterra, to $4.25, about $1, and it could go lower, of course. I mean, we've seen open country dairy come out in the $3 ranges, $3.60, $3.90 sort of thing. If you were just to drop $1, then our forecasts are that about 90% of farmers would make a cash loss this year across the season. And for the average of those farms, we're talking about $250,000. So that's a large amount of money.
Yeah. When you talk of cash loss, people don't realise we are talking substantial amounts of money. All right, so very quickly, there has been some speculation, Tim, that there will be farmers that will be forced to walk off the land. Do you imagine that we'll be talking about farmers walking off the land in the next few months?
Look, it's difficult to say. I mean, the majority of farmers want to be in this for the long game. They love the lifestyle, as you pointed out, and they believe in what they're doing. They're right behind the product. It's a great product that the world wants. So from that perspective, most farmers want to be there. But look, there will be some farmers at the end of this that won't be farming. And to be frank, look, we had mortgagee sales in the 13-14 record season. So sometimes people, you know, just don't make it. But our job collectively, and DairyNZ is very involved in this, is to work with others, as I said, to help with farmer stress. We've got workshops going on around the country. And we've got people out in the field trying to help farmers grow more grass, because that's the cheapest feed that we've got. Great response so far from farmers. So really it's about helping farmers get through, Paul, at this stage. All right, and farmers helping farmers as well. Tim, thank you very much for joining us. Tim Mackle, DairyNZ Chief Executive.